So this little peach of a story here is very fascinating. This woman's young little girl came out as Therian. Yes, Therian.
Like a fairy?
No. So things you should know about being a Therian. A Therian identifies as a species of non-human animal on every level except physical. They often engage in their animal identity's behavior. You may be a Therian if you notice yourself shifting, getting impulses to behave as a non-human animal, or if you remember a past life as a specific animal. This sounds very Native American, doesn't it? Because they always had those spirit animals and stuff, which was a part of their heritage, culture, religion, something like that. So this is kind of, you know what it seems like? They're co-opting. What do
they call it again? Appropriating.
Appropriating or colonizing.
Because that's what they call it when white people take things over.
Yeah. So they're colonizing the Native American stuff.
Yeah, what else is there to this? Is there more?
There is a little bit more, yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah. This doesn't seem spiritual. This seems sexual.
Doesn't it?
And I'm not for it. I can understand if it was spiritual, it would be like a belief system, which, is protected. But this seems more like a fad, which is very much like colonizing.
Put a finger down if you ever, you know what, let me stop playing and just tell the story. So last year, my daughter approached me and told me that she had something to talk to me about. A bit of context, she is 11. There's puberty going on. There's new sort of like dynamics with her and her friends. She started, talking to this little boy at school, just stuff like that. So I'm thinking that she's getting ready to approach me with something that was a bit more developmental in nature. But when we sat down and she opened up to me about what was going on, she said that, Mom, I wanted to let you know that I am a Therian. And of course, I was just like, okay, what the is that? Like, what is a Therian? Because you can tell me a lot of things and I'm going to be, okay, all right. But that literally had me scratching my head because I've never heard that before. So backtrack before this conversation, she was always asking to go to Hobby Lobby and Michael so that she could pick up masks. And I noticed that she was, drawing masks and wearing animal masks. And I thought that was really great. I'm like, okay, she's, very artistic and she's getting into, some new hobbies and being real crafty. And I love that. However, I did not know that she was slowly becoming a part of this group or this community of people where they actually identify as animals. She started talking to me about how in her past life she was an animal and that it was now her mission in this life to reconnect and remember what type of animal or Therian spirit she was.
Okay, so I've heard a lot of people say that the children identifying as animals isn't a thing, but it apparently is. I mean, we've seen pictures of kids in school with those freaking masks on, identifying as animals.
It's usually prepubescent children because they're not sexualized yet.
Right.
So their idea of trans is this Therian thing.
Right. But
because it's play pretend.
The problem is that it's very much connected to furries. There's no real differentiating between furries, which are a part of the community
and trying to live as an animal,
and this Therian thing. So we have two different things that are the same, and one is fetishistic and one is spiritual. I want to say, but those two things should not go together. First of all, that's messed up, but I think it's confusing the kids as well.
Yeah.
Because furries are so close to this that it's going to sexualize children, I feel like.
It's definitely not impossible.
Well, because if they're identifying as this, that means that this is like a gender, right? And if it is a gender and it's a part of pride, and they're going to pride parades and they're seeing people dressed up as animals and they're thinking they're Therian, which these adults might say they're Therian, but really they're just furries. And now you're getting into a cross section that is just not healthy for children.
I agree. And that's so much.
Wait. Before we continue with this video, please like and subscribe and comment below for the algorithm to boost this channel, because we're really trying hard, man. Really hard. And we'll appreciate it from the bottom of our soul.
I can't make this up because, you would expect that you have to come out as trans, gay, I mean, whatever, but the last thing you would expect a child to come out as is as an animal, okay? It got to the point where she wanted to wear the mask out in public, like at the grocery store, at the mall. We went to Disney. She snuck her mask in a bag and tried to wear them to Disney. So I started researching what this was about. And I'm the type of parent, I'm definitely not going to stifle your ability to express yourself and identify yourself as you see fit. I want you to be happy, even if that means you are howling at the fucking moon. If that makes you happy, I'm okay with that. But what I am concerned about is a young mind being susceptible to cult and cult-like groups.
I was also thinking that this isn't really setting these children up to live a normal adult life in the real world.
It doesn't teach them independence either. Like,
no.
They follow the group. It's following the group. And until you teach them that it's not cool to follow the group, they're gonna have a susceptible mind to following the group.
And they should really think for themselves, and they should be taught that. Because it's so dangerous for children to be following people, following ideas like this, and it's very culty. It's an ideology. It's very dangerous to children because they can't comprehend it the way that it is explained.
And with all the
online.
access that 11-year-old has to the internet, it's scary.
It is.
And concerning. And you don't want them to start developing a community where there's people and more than likely predators
Right.
talking to your children.
Like, do these kids think that after they graduate high school, they're going to walk around with these animal masks on and tails? Do they expect to go to college and be like that? I'm sure college these days would support that, but going to a job, you can't be wearing your animal mask and then say that it's because you identify as cisgender when you're supposed to be serving coffee, Like there is a social contract that we all kind of sign silently, and this is setting this child up for failure.
And there's a Love Don't Judge episode that covers this dude whose girlfriend, I don't know if she identifies as a dog or if she's just in a puppy play, which is what they call that kind of thing. But I'm under the belief that when you want to be an animal at that age, you want to be taken care of for the rest of your life. They don't think, she's 11. She does not think about what's going to happen in the next 6 to 7 years. It's that simple. This is play pretend, but they like the play pretend, so they want it to be real. It's literally the same as the trans stuff when you're older. It's play pretend, but I like it and I want it to be real.
Yeah, but that child is now putting a lot of focus into something that is not going to be beneficial for them in the long run.
Oh, I know.
I mean, learn the piano. That's beneficial for the long run. Learn a language, a sport, learn about history, anything. But focusing on this is like focusing on Scientology. It's going to do nothing but damage you in the long run. It's not setting you up for anything but following the same crowd, which is a cult.
Remember when it used to be cool to be outside of the norm? And now, if you're normal, that's actually almost better.
Well, everyone wants to be outside of the norm now because it's not cool. But now everybody, because they're outside of the norm, they're the norm.
Right. So being like a normal, regular person
is
outside of the norm.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I looked at some of the chats, and it seemed like a big connecting factor for a lot of these people were parental alienation. I saw a lot of, my parent doesn't understand, my parent doesn't accept me like this, and a lot of sort of, I don't want to say victimization, but just kind of like that trauma bonding that you find in cults. Regardless of what my daughter chooses to wear, I'm gonna love you and accept you either way. And I told her, you don't have parents that's gonna disown you for whatever reason.
Right, but here's the thing:
they want to.
These communities, they know the children are easily pliable. They know that they can convince your child, no matter what you say, that you're the bad guy, and they will tell this child everything that you're going to say. So they already have a plan for the child. Like, okay, your mom is going to say this is a
Sneak your mask
cult.
into Disney because your mom doesn't want you wearing it.
Yep.
Do this.
Right.
That's how you know your mom isn't actually okay with it and doesn't actually accept you.
Now,
I can
remember,
tell you right now how they're going to spin it. There is a very big problem with people who end up in cults and have that mentality with a desire to bond with people over trauma. We were just watching that show, Under the Bridge, where it was based on a true story, and a girl accused her father of molesting her just to go hang out at a group home because she thought that was cooler.
Yeah.
Kids do dumb shit because they think
It's cool.
it's better. It's better. It's better here. It's better there. Whatever the case is, I ran away multiple times because I thought it'd be better when I was a kid. I understand, but it's never going to happen.
So there are people within these groups that know how to manipulate your children. They've studied it for years. So they will tell your child exactly what you are going to say to make her think for herself in order to make her think that what you're saying is bad for her. Mm-hmm. Like the manipulator will say, now your mom is going to say that she accepts you and that she loves you for who you are. You can wear whatever you want. But this is a manipulative tactic in order to keep you from who you want to be. This is what they're going to tell your kid because they know how it works, because this is what they do. And these are people that are actually out there in the world. You can't turn a blind eye to it because they're out there.
No, and even she saw it. Like, the second she looked up, she found it.
Right. But I don't think she completely comprehends that there are some really, really sneaky, evil, manipulative people
but at
out
least
there.
she's concerned about her child, which a lot of people aren't these days, and they just want to, like, transition them. So at least you can tell she's a good mother for caring this much about her child.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying, even if she can't see that, at least you can tell that she cares and she's trying her best to do the best for her child.
Yeah, and she's probably one of not a lot.
Because a lot of parents are just like, yeah, whatever, you can wear the mask. Yeah.
Yeah, not knowing who their kids are talking to,
or watching, or what her friends are watching and sending to her,
and telling her. Or who their friends are talking to, thinking they're talking to young people when really they're talking to like some creepy adult
or what
dude.
TikTok they're watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to get your sense of belonging from that type of connecting, So it's just not a healthy form of bonding, if you get what I'm saying. And they kind of thrive off of like being ostracized. And there's a difference between just being different and I feel like going out of your way to be different. And I just feel like if she's going to do something, let it be for the right reasons. So that's kind of where I am with it. I'm trying to make sure.
So if they want to ostracize, right?
They want to be ostracized.
Right. They want the child, I'm trying to think of how to put this. They want the child to identify as something that will take them away from society. Right? Because if they take them away from society, that brings them closer to them and away from all the normal people who are saying, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
They prey.
Yeah, they're predators.
And with it, I'm trying to make sure that she's exploring herself, but I'm also trying to make sure that she is mentally well and not getting lost in the sauce either. There's a lot of things out there online for these babies to get into. And if you are not actively monitoring it, your baby could be in a whole cult and you wouldn't even know it. I noticed the mask and I noticed the increased interest in wearing, different animal masks, but it wasn't until I snooped around online. It wasn't until I snooped around online that I noticed that this was a lot bigger than, oh, I just want to pretend to be an animal. No, this is some pretty deep stuff, you guys. So I don't know if there are any other moms that have experienced this, but if you have, drop your comment below, or if you haven't heard of it, just be aware that this is what Therians means, that's what it is, and that is really growing in this tween Gen Z, Gen Alpha generation.
That was the video.
She's right. And you got to watch out for stuff like that because that's definitely not healthy. And if you let them go into middle and high school thinking like that, they're definitely going to be fucked with. Or they'll be fucking with people. That's dangerous. And at the end of the day, your daughter just wants to belong, and that's probably why she's getting into these things. It's not because she actually feels like she remembers her past life as an animal. I guarantee it.
I can guarantee that.
When me and my friends were kids, we've had these cat books, and we all wanted to be cats. We totally would have been this.
I can say without a shadow of a doubt that there are adults who started this with these kids. The child who is identifying as Therian, they got it from a friend, who got it from their friends, who got it from an adult. It starts with the adults teaching these kids some really sick shit. And that's all I have to say about that.
Telling people how trying to be cool.